Yeah.
Got one person in the chat tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We didn't advertise this. This was just a last minute thing. And tonight you've just got the girls. You've got Lois and myself looking after you. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about something. We always
It's the
go
first
down
one of
rabbit holes.
2023. Woohoo!
I know. We'll always go down rabbit holes, though.
Do you know what? I'll kick it off, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking, what can we talk about? What about what we want to see for the paranormal 2023?
Oh, more Ross Allison. Trust me. I've been posting the links up in the, I think it's the group page for Simply Spooky.
I'll need to have a look. As I said, I've pretty much used Facebook, so everything's sort of up in the air.
Paul, I need to see you tomorrow. I'll speak to you
Paul.
tomorrow. I'll message you after the show.
Hey, Bev. Hey, Linda.
Hi, Bev. And Linda. Look at that cat Linda's got. Wow.
Oh, wow. Don't talk to me about cats. I've got a wee kitten. Oh, honest man, she's so hyperactive. It's...
Tell them what your cat did.
The other night, I was lying in my bed. It was Hogmanay, and we got this kitten on the Friday. I named her Eris. She's 7 weeks, and Friday, hyper. And I mean, it's like being up with a newborn. Boy, Friday, Saturday came, still hyperactive. So I'm lying in the bed, and now we've got like a big double bed, and the next thing you know, Stephen's at one edge, and I'm at the other, and the weeing's in the middle, and the next thing you know, I seen her in my face, but I thought she was sniffing, and the next thing you know, she did a 360 and put her claws right into my eye. I thought it was a pupil at first, but it's actually just at the side of your pupil. She's managed to leave a mini scratch. Hi, Jamie, love. Hi, Eric.
Jamie. Hi, Eric. Eric the Viking's on.
I know, I love the movie. It was the coolest thing in the world. So I'm on antibiotic eye drops 4 times a day, and when I put it in, it blinds me. It's like it totally blurs my vision. So it was great fun. Aye, tell me about it, Eric. Get a kitty. They said it'd be fun, they said. Okay, so like newborn babies on it. Aye. Eris is very much a mum. But a mum's
Wait till they start climbing up your legs.
Oh,
to get to the counters. Oh.
Has that problem because that's what Eris keeps saying, and he has to put his slippers on because she keeps attacking his feet and then running across his leg and running back the way to his feet. She's nuts. In fact, guys, you'll probably see her at one point in the show because she's getting notorious for coming up and sitting on me here. So you will see her at some point. Try and get them in the habit of loving nail trim. Start young. That's what I will need to do with her, especially Big as well.
You have to be really careful because they've got skin. There's like living tissue inside the nail. So I'm very dubious about cutting my cat's nails. I'll take to the vet.
I've left Big's because Big is like, I can't imagine her. I mean, hi Rita. When I go Big neutered, they turned around and said, if you get a baby grow, we advise putting on like a baby grow so she can't get into her stitches. And see me trying to chase her with a baby grow. She just wasn't for it. No.
Yeah. Well, I've got me John with me here.
Hello, John.
Trying to get involved in the show.
Oh, the wee cutie pie. So what you got left in the jar of doom?
Shall we have a look? No.
Yep, why not?
The jar of doom.
Your froze, Vivian. Or your bag.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop. I bet you pick.
Number 1 or number 2?
We'll go for, I'll pick number 2 for Eris, a wee shite. What have we got tonight left?
We are talking about
rude ghosts. I wish Dan was here because Dan would say about the one that grabbed his arse.
Rude ghosts.
Do you know what? I've had that happen to me. I did a deal in Scotland, Paul Stirling jail. And at one point, we were down at the bottom. You can't get in the middle because the council has actually bought that floor. So you can't get in, which I thought was quite shit because I would have liked to see what was in the middle as well.
Yeah.
So down the bottom, I felt fine. Went to the top and I felt as though I'd been sedated, like somebody just came up behind me and sedated me. And then I went down the stairs again and I felt fine because I thought maybe I've no had enough to eat, maybe I've no drank enough the day. And I felt fine. And I thought that's awful weird because I had this feeling like I'd been sedated. So I went up to the top of the floor again, same thing happened. Felt like I was sedated. So I said to one of the guys, I says, give me the EVP please to ask a question. So I asked the question, was there anybody up here that was sedated? I says, because I feel like I'm getting sedated. And the answer and the response was, fuck you, you bastard. And I was like, oh. And do you know,
That's not very nice, is it?
like, we were so, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. The tears were coming down my face. I actually taken us half an hour to regroup because always we're in stitches. And I'm trying to ask a question, but every time I was laughing. And I'm apologising because I'm like, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the responses.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just so funny.
We got some comments in the chat. Linda says,
Yes.
yeah, just cut the very pointy ends.
Tinko.
My cat is like that. She jumps off the furniture onto her toy. Kamikaze cat. Black cats are so affectionate. Seriously, this one is affectionate, but don't be fooled. He's evil. He is evil. Seriously. You mean the kind of ghosts in your bathroom? Bride's in the house. Stay up, me chuck. She likes my cool cat. Talking of rude ghosts, this was some years ago now. I did an investigation. I'm not going to say where it is. And I took my team there and we sat up in the top floor. There was a room that was used as it's partly like a gentleman's club. They had one room set aside for the ladies. That was it had carpet on the walls and the doors. It was carpeted through and through to make it soundproofed, so the women couldn't hear what the men were saying. It was the founding place where the man that started Barclays Bank over here. It was his club, and we was in the top floor. The ladies were around a table, just calling out and doing. Some of them were doing some Ouija boards, and I had my voice recorder there. And where you had a nice big lovely table which was original to the house, alongside either side of the table you had benches, like a long bench, and I sat right on the very end of the bench, just observing and sitting and listening. We were in pitch black. It was totally dark, and all of a sudden I felt in between my legs, very high up, I felt like a flutter, like somebody touching me, like a flutter. And I thought, really? And it stopped. And I looked under the table just to make sure there was nobody that could put their hands on me near there, because you don't know in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nobody. I turned my torch on at that point, And then I turned my torch off again. And it happened a second time. But this time it was up even further still. And I thought, no, this is bad. So I got up, made an excuse and left the room. And I came out of the room and I was in the hallway outside of the room, just leaning up against the door, and my voice recorder on very low, and I was listening back just to hear if I got anything. The next thing you know, another one of my team came out, and I said to her, she was sitting next to me, I said to her, what's the matter with you? She said, did you come out of the room for a particular reason? I said, yes. I said, did you? She went, yes. And she said to me, when you got up and left, I moved along. And exactly the same thing happened to her. in exactly the same place. And I looked at her and I said to her, did you get your mini moo touched? And she said, yes, I did get my mini moo touched. And I said, it happened to me twice, which is the reason why I left and came out, because I didn't know there was somebody in there mucking around. And she said, no. She said, I got my mini moo touched. She said, I was that shocked. She said, and I searched everywhere, no one near me. She said, so I've got up and left. She said, and I said, for it to happen to me once or twice,
Mhm.
I think, oh, no, could it have been my own body doing that? Was that
Yeah.
me flattering? Whatever. But now it's happened to you as well. I'm putting that down to some very horrible treatment, if you like, by the ghosts that are touching us physically, and I think it's out of order. We did some history on some research on the place afterwards and found out that in this particular room they would have ladies of the night that would visit, that the men could do what they want to, you know, in front of everyone.
Mhm.
So yeah, we did experience a rude ghost in this particular building that didn't do it to just one, he did it to two of us. So yeah,
Oh,
I
God.
can't explain that. I really can't explain that. But
Especially with such
you felt
a
the fingers doing that. You felt fingers doing that.
oh my God.
Seriously.
Especially if it's happened to the two of yous. It's like you couldn't write that. Like, seriously.
No.
That is freaky. But I
That's
love when
too that's too rude, that is.
I love when Dan tells the story about the ghost grabbing his ass.
They
That's
always go for his bum. Seriously. But for that to happen,
the guy who's getting called a cock.
do you know, I was in a theatre and I did an EVP session in this theatre a couple of years ago. I've still got it somewhere. And I asked the question, could you tell me what your name is? You know, the usual, what do they used to call you? And the response I got was, you're just a cock. And it had tone to it. It was a male voice calling me a cock. It was
But
just so funny.
see, when you look at, like, I always like the fact he, like, see, like, when you're talking about obviously ladies in the night, you just think they're stuck in an era, they're still stuck in an era, so in that era, that was, you know, socially acceptable and things like that. I
I
tend to
just,
keep this round
I
my
said,
legs.
I said to my friend, I said to her, do I look like a prostitute? Maybe I've not got enough clothes on. Maybe you know, for them to come and touch you like that, to
Aye.
have that physical contact, and we felt. Honestly, I felt the fingers doing this. I felt the fingers doing that, and I thought, no, 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 no. I
You're
just
like,
felt.
time to go. See you
Yeah,
later.
see you later. Yeah. Hi,
Hey,
David.
Dave.
Yeah, and then it happened to a second one. I thought, nah.
Obviously, they've kept their. That's very true, Linda. They could have kept their personality.
Well, I don't bank with Barclays Bank anymore. Let me assure you.
I, I mean, I want your opinion and everybody's opinion in the chat. But what do you think about when people, no everybody does it, but you know, when, like, that lady who was on this morning claims she's marrying a ghost. Hiya,
Oh,
Jacqueline, how you
hi,
doing?
Jacqueline. Happy New
And
Year to everyone
happy
and to
New Year,
Jacqueline.
honey. And I think to myself, you're sitting here claiming you're marrying a ghost. Now, I can be a believer and a skeptic, you know. I like to go with logic first before making it paranormal. But
Let me
I'm
tell you
just
something,
like,
though.
a ghost?
Women, right, this is not all women. This is a very small handful of women. Now, people that don't want to hear this, I would put your earphones on mute because it's of sexual nature. So just to give you a warning. Now, women, not all women can do this, but some women can reach a climax by doing this. Right, so we call this the pelvic floor. Us older ladies that have had children are taught how to do the pelvic floor after giving birth. Some women do this and it gives them a sexual pleasure to the point where they can climax. Okay, I'm choosing my words very carefully here. Some women are ashamed of masturbating or having this talent. I'm going to call it a talent of doing this and climaxing. And so it's easier to blame a ghost. Ghost has come and raped me, or a ghost has done this and a ghost has done that. So that hides a level of embarrassment, I think.
Yeah.
When it comes to women that want to marry their ghost, I seriously do believe, and I'm saying this with as nicely as I can, I have to call them a sandwich short of a picnic, because mental health has to come into reason here. Yes, there are lots of things that people claim, even paranormal investigators, they claim this, which is why when you think about what happened to me, actually physically get in touch, I said nothing and just left the room, because I was embarrassed. I thought, oh my God, I had to leave immediately. And then for it to happen to a second person, then I thought I could breathe a sigh of relief. It was horrible what happened, don't get me wrong, but it happened to somebody else too. So then I had someone to corroborate my story. But then these women that want to marry their ghost, I just think that it's quite sad that they have to make up this story in order to get married, that they can't find a human to show that love and affection to, and to marry them and to get what they want out of life from them. It's egotistical. It's sad. They need to go and get help. And I think also that they're lacking. They need help in certain areas of their life, whether they go through therapy or see a psychiatrist. It depends on the level of cuckoo-ness.
Well, that's true. I'm looking what Eric says. That's what you're supposed to go with, logic first. No, everybody follows his logic, my friend.
No. What are they calling it? Tantric. Kegel. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, Linda, like people who fall in love with objects.
It's like men and their blow-up dollies. I think it's just a sexual kink. I don't think it's got anything to do with the paranormal. I think that is a sexual kink. I really do believe that.
Do you know they're even starting to talk about, I notice it more and more now, that they start to talk about sex robots. No.
Oh.
Hi, Scott. Hope your eyes are alright, pal.
Yeah, but it's crossing a fine line, don't you think? They're using. I'm not going to call it sexuality. It's not sexuality. It's a very fine line when it comes to kinks and sadomasochism, even to a degree of that. It's a very fine line, and when they start crossing it over into the paranormal, I have to ask the question, what is their end game? What is their end goal? What do they think they're trying to achieve? They're bringing it into the paranormal. It's bringing us into the true paranormal investigators into disrepute. I just think there's more to it. They're more, and I wouldn't even go as far as calling them egotistical. Not all of them are. Some of them seriously need some help,
Oh, God, aye. Especially when you can't differentiate between fire extinguishers and spirits.
Yeah. Job Bryce says tantric sex is one who can orgasm alone without touching.
Bri,
do you know what?
How do you know this information, Mr. Bri?
Oh yeah, Bri. But Bri, do you remember? You're old enough to remember. Years ago, when they gave you the antidepressant, is it Prozac?
Prozac, yes.
If you drank Coca-Cola on top of Prozac, you'd go into orgasms or something. So they stopped.
Wow, really?
They stopped. Yeah, they stopped. Somebody's got to remember that there was an antidepressant that they were in the 80s, they were dishing them out like Smarties. And these women were saying when they drank Coca-Cola that they would go into full-blown orgasm. And it was because of this drug that they were taking. I'm sure it was Prozac or something similar.
I'll look up that one. That sounds quite funny. She's an excellent. Yeah. That's what. What about the woman who married the ship and has sex with?
Yeah. Not the full ticket. Needs help.
Definitely, Scott. I agree. Just another attention seeker. I'm knowledgeable, not sure about that one, but that's what you're telling us, Bri.
Yeah, I bet he knows. I bet he's got drawfuls of them. Hey, I love it. Have one of these. Never mind a brewer Yorkshire tea. Have one of these.
I should go over to YouTube where everyone else is. So there's that. Oh no, I draw the line. Hiya, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
Lois is off to Boots tomorrow, then the locals.
Oh dear. No, it was seriously. So these people that. So honestly, Lo, what are your thoughts about these women that marry ghosts and stuff like that? You must have had a thought about it.
I mean, no offense to America, right? But in America, you could pretty much marry anything. Like, you know, people marry their pets, people marry, you know, everything, and each to their own. But quite personally, if I told somebody like my dad or my mama that, yeah, met somebody, I fell in love, you get the whole shebang of the questions. You imagine me turning around and saying, when they say to me, yeah, when are we meeting such and such? Oh,
Yeah.
you never. I just don't know how you have that sort of conversation with folk.
But do you know what though, Lo? Bestiality. You know what that is, don't you? Bestiality.
Yep.
It's illegal in England, and it carries a hefty prison sentence.
Oh.
So it makes you wonder when people are marrying pets. Oh, come meet my husband. It's my dog. Really? Yeah, it is illegal. I would be sending social services round to see, like, is she the full ticket? Is she doing the do with the dog? If so, she needs to be put down herself, you know.
Exactly.
That's my.
I mean, it's illegal here too. Apparently it's legal where Eric is. Is there no some states though in America where you can actually marry your pets or marry objects or marry, you know, whatever? I think there is actually. Unless
Waverley Hills Mental Asylum. People in asylums. This is where these people belong. I mean, back in the day, if they were talking like this, send them up to Bedlam, lock them behind closed doors, leave them there to rot.
Hey, Gary.
Not the full ticket.
Mr.
Fields, Happy New Year.
Happy Year. One of the things I've got to say, but it's that kind of way where I balance it up, right, and I say to myself, real man or ghost man, and I think to myself, well, you don't get your head nipped with ghost men, you don't get nagged, you don't get moaned at.
Or you could go to Ann Summers and buy one of those toys if you didn't want the man.
Exactly.
You don't need to blame ghosts. That's just silly.
Oh,
it's really
Lord.
Silly.
Hey, Gary, best. Same to you, my friend.
Oh, same to you, Gary. Oh, bless him. He's lovely, and he's our Gary. So when it comes to inanimate objects, though, I just think again, I put it down to the side of, is it people that are ashamed that they're masturbating? Because seriously, it's only until recently people are more accepting of that act itself. If people did it or got caught, they would blame something or try and think of an excuse out of it because it was embarrassing. And again, is it their way of mentally being able to deal with the fact that they do it and this is their kink, this is what they like to do? Somebody's caught them, like this woman on a ship, She's obviously rubbing her parts on certain parts of a ship. If that's what get her rocks off, then that's what gets your rocks off. But don't blame it on ghosts. I think it's just ridiculous. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm laughing at Gary, still demolishing the sweeties left over. Gary, I have to admit, I've actually been this Christmas, well, no, I'm sickened off chocolate, honestly. I'm just sickened with chocolate.
Do you know what? When you're high on this chocolate rush and all these sweeties rush, that's when you want to go out investigating to see if it bears any effect of what you get doing this, you know.
That actually sounds like a good idea.
And then go back when you've not got any sweets and you're craving some, see, compare.
Never actually thought of that. Well, it was, Joanne. It definitely was, honey. The real dolls are getting too real.
That robot thing that you mentioned earlier, though.
That is it. Sex to poor Eric. Sex toys, ghosts, and Mary.
Yeah,
I think we have Eric. No, what it is, the standards have dropped since there's no Dan. In fact, no, Dan would put it through the.
But he would make it even worse.
He'd put it through the floor. Sugar Rush first day back in school today. Oh my god, no. Sometimes you just need that kick, Gary, to get going.
Get you through the day.
Has you guys in the chat ever had a rude ghost? Please feel free to add your story.
I think the best ones, I mean, touching and stuff aside, but I think the best ones are when you get the swear words on an EVP.
Oh, God, aye.
So some of them are really crude. I've been called a see you next Tuesday. I've been called an effing bee. I've been you name it, I've been called it. And every time I hear them, whether they're mine or somebody else's, I think they're great. I think they're brilliant. I just think they're so funny.
There's something vibrating. Gary, I don't want to know what's vibrating in your drawer, my friend. How many men's had that? Well, it's well known in Scotland, up Aberdeen. I better not say that. They're known as sheep shags.
And Wales.
And Wales.
Yeah.
Well.
And Wales, yeah.
Yeah. Eric, that's why you don't want me and Dan together. I can only imagine if you two done this show tonight and it was you two, I can only imagine what would come out your mouth.
Oh my God. Dan, I'll just say it now. I've been with Dan investigating, and it's so funny that when something touched his bum, he was sitting on a chair and he jumped up, he went, Vivian, something's just touched my bum. And I went, where on your bum? And he turned around and he was showing me on his bum. I said, well, sit back down and see if he does it again. And poor Rachel, when she's sitting a bit further on, she looked at him, she went, well, it weren't me. And he goes, yeah, no, I know it weren't you. He goes, but something definitely touched my bum. Anyway, he sat back down, he started getting into it again. And it happened a second time. He went, no, I'm not sitting there. I goes, did it touch you again? He went, yeah. I go, turn around and show me where it touched you. I was like, turned the mickey out of him because it was just so funny. And he was turning around, showing me where on his bum he got touched. I said, you know what, Dan? I said, the problem is, I said, maybe they like touching your bum.
I must admit, Dan, I can just imagine. And it's the faces. I bet he put that face he always does when he jumped up. He went. Oh.
It's just so funny. But he's had his bum touched a few times when we've been out investigating.
I had a few house clearances when people was getting touched in the type of pedo for, so that was my alarm clock. Oh, Gary, I sent you a friend's request for my new profile. It's not a fake one. It's definitely from me. Joanne into thick with young people. Oh, well. This is very, very true.
Yeah.
Pissed. I don't believe you, Bri. I think you're telling me porky pies.
I think he is as well.
On invest mostly little kids try and grab hands over the ears.
Hans is
Oh,
okay, but it's when they get a bit more the rude ghosts.
oh God, aye.
You know, and I think as well, people have said to me, why don't you see any naked ghosts? Well, actually, it's not true. It's what you perceive it to be. So your perception picks up whatever it picks up. And if a lot of people are perceiving the same thing, then that's great too. But there are instances, and it has been reported, where there have been apparitions where you've seen the spirit float by or do whatever. But if you actually look closer to it, actually had no clothes on. You didn't
Wow.
see private parts and things like that. But it's because you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it. So I think a lot of it is to do with people's perceptions.
Mm-hmm. And I think as well, it's as you say, as it's whatever you see in your mind, and it's how your mind projects.
Yes.
Because there's
Um,
times where I've been out in investigations and it's like the room changes and I can see it,
mm,
or it might be how my mind's perceiving
perceiving it. Yeah.
what how I'm looking at the building and imagining how it was before it's it's got to the state. And the sad reality is, some of these buildings that you think to yourself, "Oh my God, how can you let it get to such
Yeah.
near ruin?" It's a beautiful building. I mean, I put pictures up the day. Lennox Castle. For people that don't know where Lennox Castle is, it's in Scotland. It's not an actual castle. It used to be a hospital for mental health and things like that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful building. I can only imagine it was a beautiful building. But see now, oh, it is. It's sad when it gets to that stage.
Yeah. Bryce says he'll be making up for it.
Ah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've waited a day or so just to accept it. But thanks, Gary. I've seen
I've
the
seen
got it when you go.
Neanderthals as an ancient. Now, this is interesting because so many people have said to me, why do you not see the ghosts of cavemen, dinosaurs, all that sort of thing? Again, you're not looking for them, so how are you going to see them? The Neanderthal thing, we'll put that back as, you know, the ancients, as Bryce says, still class them as a caveman. And there was a group of people, 5 fishermen, maybe a bit more, might be 6 or 7 of them. They saw three people, Neanderthals, looked like caveman. They had like the fur loincloth thing at the bottom, as I'm gonna refer to it like that. And they see them go into a cave and just disappear. Now, all the people that were there on the other side of the bank that were fishing saw it. Now, this blows the stone tape theory out of the water. So, and I had a discussion with someone that goes big on the stone tape theory, and he said, "For God's sake, Viv, don't mention it to anybody else because that blows all my theories and a lot of my work out of the water that I've been at it for years." And I said, "Well, it's just one of those things. If anyone was to ask me about it, I would tell them. I would never give the location away because it is on private land." But yeah, and they are seen there quite regularly.
Oh wow.
These 3 men, and they literally got next to nothing on. Seriously. So the Neanderthal thing is like, if you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it. And when you do see it, do you believe your own eyes? Would you believe what you're seeing? Some people don't, do they? They always question it.
No, spirituals can be showing themselves earlier. This is very, very true, Gary. And I
Mm.
suppose in a way it's what spirits want to show you and how
Yes,
comfortable they feel with you. I mean,
exactly.
if a spirit feels pretty comfortable with you, then they're going to give you the responses. They're going to show you how they looked. But if they're not, I mean, I'm going to use this as prime example. When you and Dan did that investigation, in that place,
Which
and
one?
or was it Naomi's place?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And watching Dan and how Dan spoke to the spirit and respected the spirit. Now, anybody that hasn't seen this live really needs to go back and watch it. But what you see is this figure gradually apparition. Well, supposing the way it is, but it's like a shadow figure. But you can see it gradually building. And I noticed this. This was me just observing. Was the fact that I found the more that Dan was speaking, and the more nicer and soft his tone was, the more it seemed to like grow bigger.
Yeah.
Like you were seeing more. And I must admit, that stuck with me because that's the first bit of evidence I can honestly say on any lives that I've ever watched that my jaws just went.
He said he didn't really see anything, and there was me saying, "There it is, just there." And he's going, "No, I can't see anything." "Are you there, darling, sweetheart?"
I know, and you could just see this figure showing more and more and more, and my jaw actually hit the ground because I was thinking to myself, holy shit, yeah, I watch lives, yeah, I watch them intently to see like everybody else if I can get something, but to actually watch it in front of your face and it happening, I'm thinking, oh my god. But Dan has got a really, really soft and
Yeah,
gentle
he has. He has.
himself.
Can see, say, 7 males around one spirit in the safe and 5 female forms and 1 spirit. Eh? So if spirit souls can be lived before, can they say 7 males around 1 spirit and say 5 females form around 1 spirit? And if souls past life?
I'm not
I
getting
don't
that.
understand the question.
Sorry, Gary.
I don't understand the question, Gary.
Eric can also be in timeline as well, which could be open portal area.
I don't believe in portals, sorry. I believe in ley lines.
Ley lines, aye.
Yes, and where the ley lines cross, but I don't believe in...
To be fair, I was quite sceptical about ley lines until I went in an investigation, and it was with the first ever team that I'd went with, and we went and investigated a hotel, and then we went investigated a castle in the same ley line, and it was like the activity was just astronomical. And then what I found out about Peebles is it's a witchcraft town. So all the ley
so is it
lines,
the geometry?
all the ley lines,
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, these things actually do exist.
Yeah, and some of them they go way, way, way back. You'll find that depending on ley lines and where the geometry goes, you get some geometry ends up like the pentangle, and they'll put a church in the middle, and it doesn't mean that it's bad or evil or anything like that. This is where people are very misguided. And I think even some mediums are misguided because it's the way they've been taught. They've known nothing better. They haven't listened to the people that have studied the ley lines and worked on them for years and years and years. But yeah, I think that it's quite an interesting thing, that the ley lines, are they like a passage where spirit or earth spirits can use them as a tunnel system? Is it
Sorry,
the earth?
guys, I can just see my kitty. She's climbing up my legs, and I can just see her aiming towards this screen.
They could use it as a tunnel system. They could pop up here, there, and everywhere. Again, the Fae, the old ancient earth spirits, are they using ley lines? It's I don't know. I've not died and come back, so I can't tell you. But yeah, it's interesting.
Definitely, see through them.
Again, Gary, I suppose it depends on how they want to show themselves to you. So his experience was trees that were vibrating and hissing when at Warren Percy. Yeah. I heard that before, actually, Bri.
Oh. The ones that trip me up.
Yes.
Oh, baby girl.
Hide your keys, your car keys, when you're trying to get out the house.
See if I can hide.
I suppose when you're in Spiritualist church, they all come in and rush it, don't they? And you have to get in a nice line, otherwise I'm not talking to you.
Hi, that's it.
Who's the spirits? Well, why don't people see spirits of dinosaurs? That's the question.
You would actually think that? Ah.
You see, now, here's a question for you. So somebody in a theatre, right, theatre goers, the actors and actresses, back in the day, the actors would wear makeup, not just on pantomime, but they would actually wear makeup. Some actors, because they couldn't get a female to fill the role, would cross-dress and look like female. So when you're seeing a female, how do you know you're seeing a female? Could it have been a male actor? That's a question. And again, past lives. Why would you want to show yourself as past life from this life when you're trying to communicate or talk to loved ones from this life? It doesn't make sense. Past lives do play a part in this life, I feel, but they don't govern the life that you're living in this life. You have your own fate in your own hands. So,
hey, Chantel.
Is Chantel in the house? Shall we do it?
Aye.
Chantel in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Chantel is here and Dan isn't. Whoop,
Aye, hopefully he would have joined us by now, the big guy.
Hi, William.
Hey, William.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, but cute.
She's
Thanks
cute.
very much.
She is cute. That's the spawn of the devil right there.
Yep, that's it. This is the culprit.
Bri, we'll have to go there one day. She is precious. And so's the kitty.
Yeah, so is the biggin. The biggin's camera shy, so you'll never ever see her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. Hey, Chantel.
Creswell Crags. Yes, I've heard of that place, this Creswell Crags place. Hyenas. Oh, man, one of my favourite animals. They are hyenas.
Hey, Nettie.
And Nettie's in the house. Nettie's in the house. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
What?
He's blowing kisses to Nettie.
I know. Aye. Cats.
I think cats are bastards. See.
You cover your young ears. Happy New Year, Chantel.
Happy New Year to you too, Chantel. I don't mind a hike.
Chantel, I'll need to get you back on Frighteners, honey, because I was quite gutted. I'd missed you. I want to go and investigate Barrymore Castle. Where's that?
It's in Barrymore. No, I don't know.
Was this not a question? Quick question is, oh my God, Stephen, come and read this question. I'm going to let Stephen answer this one.
Yeah, Stephen, you answer it.
What? What's my take the flat earth? Well, I mean, see when they actually come up with a concise model that could predict Earth Sun movement, seasons, all the rest of it as accurately as a globe model actually does, then I'll take a look at flat Earth seriously. Until then, no. They don't have one unifying model. They have a model that does one thing, and then another model that does another thing, and another model that does another thing. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? You can see it with your own eyes in the real world every day that it is clearly a globe. I mean, Polaris, the way that the stars rotate, I mean, the evidence, the bulk evidence is endless for the globe, and there's none for the flat Earth. That's my take on it.
And that's the first time he's ever appeared in the show.
Plus the fact we've had people from numerous countries all go out in space and taken photographs of the Earth that proves it's round. Bloody hell! Like, come on, really?
The problem is, right, I mean, there's one, I never thought I would honestly think there was any Scottish flat earthers until I found this one it was by chance. It was one of the guys we're covering, like he does flat earth. If you're into this, Gary, like, and want to see them getting ripped, there's a guy called Simon Dan who talks about, thing. He's a really intelligent guy. And
He's not that intelligent if he thinks the Earth is flat.
No, he doesn't. He rips their asses right out the flat earthers.
He takes a proper non-scientific.
He actually sits and debunk them. Like, he sits there. He's never ever debated anyone. He's had numerous people trying to get him to debate, and he's like, "No, I'm just not for this."
But he doesn't debate established facts.
That's it. But yeah, Gary, flat Earth, that's something that's...
Crikey, Gary. That Barrymore Castle's in England.
Oh, wow.
It must be in, is it over in the Isle of Barry? Never heard of it.
Sure.
Hasn't got a pool, has it, Eric? Well, you're going to go swimming as well, are you?
Only when Jen makes me drunk enough.
Oh, bless her. Jen's
Hi,
funny.
Terry Two Willies. I sent you a friend's request too, and it is a real one.
Oh, he said he's doing me a head in. I don't blame you.
What happens, Gary, right? Here's a question for Gary. What happens, right, when we die, right, and we discover the Earth is not flat. It's not flat, it's not round, but it turns out to be square or triangle. Then we're going to be really fucked.
If it's a triangle Earth.
Oh, that would be... I always say that. How hilarious.
Gravity, right?
Don't you talk to me about gravity.
No. Just ask a flat earther.
There's my boyfriend there, right there.
Oh.
My Mr. Hunky Adamant.
The honeybee. Oh, that's Stephen. He's away and he's in me world.
No, I'm still listening.
No, you don't need to know. That's your part for the year.
All right, okay.
That's good. So, Groupman can create things that are not in. I think so. But yeah, so we've went from sex toys to flat Earth.
Yeah.
I always love these shows because you settle for one subject and you end up, by the time you're finished, before you know it, you've been through all the genres. Oh, in fact, here's one for you guys. Has any of you seen the trailer for Winnie the Pooh? It's coming out as a horror movie.
Oh no, I want to see that. That'd be brilliant.
Oh my god. You just think Winnie the Pooh, the wee cute bear, wouldn't harm nobody, and then you've got to imagine there'll be a massive
explanation. And I think he's right. I think they got most of it, haven't they? X equals MC squared. Pied and...
Hey, Sarah Louise. I'm no good at maths, so that's just totally in my head, Gary. Shoom. Mass hysteria is a puzzler. That's true.
Mass hysteria. We've just come through a mass hysteria, a worldwide mass hysteria, and that was called COVID.
Yep. When everybody was buying toilet rolls and stealing hand sanitizers out of hospitals.
Yeah. Oh God, Sarah, I'm
Oh
so
my God,
sorry.
so
I
sorry,
am so
Sarah.
sorry.
Huge hugs, honey. I'm
If
so
you
sorry.
if you want to talk, you've
In
got me on
fact,
Facebook. Just ring me through
mhm.
Facebook.
In fact, guys, check out our group. If you're not already on it, it's called Simply Spooky Network Group. I'm going to be putting a number in. It's for a charity called Shout, and basically it's a text service, so it's not like you need to see anybody face to face. It's a text service that you can text, and it's a 24/7 hour, 7 hour. You can imagine me not being able to speak tonight. 24/7 service. See what happens when Dan's not here. I'm like the
You're all at a loss, aren't you? But seriously, though, because I've just also had a bereavement just before Christmas, so if you want someone to scream and shout at or just cry to, you got me, Sarah. Just ring me, message me, whatever. I'm there for you. So
my inbox is always open, sweetheart.
yeah. So sorry to hear that.
Definitely. You can talk to
Gary's still got his mind on vibrators.
I don't want to know what happens in Gary's drawers.
Yeah, no. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, that's our first show back in it, 2023.
People should not buy it twice. What the vibrators? I've still
Vibrator.
got my head there.
What else?
That's Gary's. That's Gary's thought. That's his
Eh,
fault. Yeah.
but that was planned with mass hysteria when everyone is having the same thoughts and feelings at once.
So while you're looking at this, and concentrating on this mass hysteria, you're not looking at what's happening over here. So I just leave that there.
Definitely.
So investigating wise, if you could meet a rude ghost, Lois, nothing too kinky, like we got to talk about it on here. If you could meet a rude ghost in 2023, what kind of rude ghost would you like to meet, and where would you like to meet them?
Wow, that's a good question. I just love the ghosts that call you for everything. So I would love to meet somebody that calls me for everything. Anywhere, really. It wouldn't matter if it was a castle or a
Do you know,
hospital or
I just
whatever.
thought I'd like to meet a nan in an old bingo hall that's swearing every time her number doesn't come up.
Oh my God,
That would be
so
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah, like a swearing nan.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
Oh yeah, we've done those.
Uh,
Sarah loves your cat.
aye.
Judge Jeffries, says Gary Fields.
Again, he keeps me on a ginger in my bed.
Right. That's called a fantasy.
If she want to come, no, if she doesn't want to come in, it's fine. I could do with a ghost like that. He does not talk, you never see him, and is available when you want him. They're the best kinds, Nettie. Well, yeah, that's true. When we ask these questions in shows, you never know what you're bargained for. I would like an OCD house cleaning ghost.
That would be brilliant. Yeah, but if you made a mess, the ghost would throw itself and throw things at you or something just to let you know that they're not happy. So it could backfire, that one.
Do you know what? I think I'll manifest that one so that there's one that'll scalp Stephen.
Do you know what my son bought me for Christmas? Because I didn't want anything for Christmas. I bought everything. And he said, here's a present for you and Dad to share. and it was one of those circular robotic hoovers, right? And it's just like having a ghost, because it goes off during the day when I'm at work, and when I get home, my floors are all cleaned. It's like the ghost has been. It's brilliant.
Like, oh yay! I don't need to do that.
If you can afford one, get one. They're the most fantastic ghosts you'll ever have in your house.
That's it.
Ooh, that's a good
That's
question.
a good question, James. I'll let you go, Viv, while I'm having a wee think.
I would ask, it doesn't matter who it would be, could be anybody in spirit. I would ask, the place where you are now, spirit world, is it a happy place? Because we all perceive it to be a place of happiness, but is it? That would be my question.
That's actually a good point.
If they were so happy over there, why would they feel the need to come back all the time?
I'm still thinking about my question. It depends, I suppose, in where I am, but if I don't know, it's one of the ones that's caught me. I usually have an answer for everything, but I just don't have an answer on this one because there's so many questions that you would love, to ask.
I've had a question answered by my brother. It was without a shadow of a doubt, Nick, tell me, is there a spirit world? Is there an afterlife? And the response in his own voice, and I wasn't even there, was, of course there is. And for that to happen, I took that as gospel because it was in his own voice, and I wasn't even there when that happened. So that was one question that was asked on my behalf, and he answered it. I'll take that. But this other question would be, that spirit world, is it a happy place?
But what if it's like and this is how I sometimes perceive it. What if it's almost like an elevator, right? You go through life and you get to the very end, but then you're put on another way, like another lift, and going
Yeah,
all the way through the same steps and the same cycles, but in a different life.
yeah.
I don't believe in heaven. I'm very, very open in this one. I don't believe in heaven and I don't believe in hell. I believe it's all
No,
parallel universes.
versus, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
So
don't.
when you get there to this other parallel,
Mhm,
is it a good place to be or not?
exactly.
Ah. If you had a ghost, I
I
suppose,
think
would you charge them rent? I've tried, trust me. Don't
that would
upset
be
the ghost.
amazing. That would be amazing.
Or could you rent the ghost out? That would be another good one.
Litter box clinic. That would just be amazing.
Would you charge them rent?
Oh, aye, God, definitely. Sarah, I'd be wanting them to do dishes and cook for me.
Yeah. Or not to throw their pots and pans at you.
That's it. If
If
there's a
there's a spirit in the house, can you turn the Hoover on and off, the washing machine, and the iron, please?
Mr. Field.
He don't want much, does he?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh, North Coastal.
This is a question for you, Linda. How do you know that they cross? How do you know you can move a spirit on? We're nothing special. Even trained mediums, we're nothing special. So what gives us the power to move a spirit on? Especially if they don't want to go. How do you know they're gone? Again, I suppose it's all perception, is it?
It is. Not for me. That's true.
Do you know what? Dan, I'll tell you this, Lois. I said to him, when you pass away, you can come back and haunt a certain place or a person. Would it be a place? Would it be a person? And if it's a person, what would you do to them? Do you know what Dan said? He said he'd come back to those that have wronged him in life and he'd do a great big spirit fart in their face so they could smell it and taste it.
I thought you were actually going to say shit in their bed, but never mind.
But he said, what? So I'm thinking, how do we know that ghosts or spirits haven't done that, actually? Because I've been in places and I've smelled the most putrid and disgusting of smells that have been there for a second, then gone. How do we know that that's not what Dan said that he was going to come back and do?
Exactly.
He's terrible.
Oh, I love him. See, when he comes out with these one-liners, it's hard not to laugh. Especially when you get a face like this.
Oh, when he sang you that song. Have you still got it?
I think so. Give me 2 seconds and I'll have a wee look.
That's terrible. I had to send it to you.
You hear about this? Wait till he's here.
Gary's talking about the charging the spirits rent again. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly.
That is brilliant. That's true.
Sorry, baby girl.
Yeah. Christine's in the house. Happy New Year, Christine.
Happy New Year.
Woo, woo,
woo. And my gallery it should be. No, that's WhatsApp videos.
That's nice, Gary.
I don't think I have. I think I've lost it because obviously when we start a new Facebook.
I'll have to try and find it and send it across to you.
I'll look at my Google thing in case it's backed it up. Probably no, but Dan did me a cracking video. Do you know I've still not had that down the market for him? Hey Robert, thanks Christine.
Down the market? Oh my god.
He's a shithead, honestly. Makes me all these promises. No, I've not got it, I've lost it. But if you do find it on yours, send it to me again.
Do you know when we was in Gloucester before Christmas, I left my phone in the hotel room while I went outside and had a cigarette. And of course, Dan got hold of it, didn't he? The things that he put on my phone. He's just such a big kid. He's so funny.
Yes,
He does lift your spirits. Honestly, he does. He
It's
makes
honestly,
you smile.
If I could kill him.
Oh. If I could come back as a ghost, I'd want to be one of those ghosts that could slap people and actually mark them. Because they say, oh, a demon scratched me. You want a demon to scratch? Well, here we go. Or slap them in the face or leave handprints on the side of their cheek and things like that. All the people that not have wronged me. It's not even about wronging me. It's about the fact that I can just do it to people just for a laugh. The ghost hunters. I'd go and see the ghost hunters and slap them around a bit.
I think I would be the sort of same lines as you, but I would go towards ones that. No, I think there should be like a differentiation line between investigators and entertainers. And I see the ones like Zach Baggins, I would just love to fuck his shit up. We've been that ghost that really shows him.
Scratch across his belly. Lois was here. So it appears he'd be like,
I want to be like, if anybody's ever watched the film, right, it's just a film, it's called Grave Encounters. And it starts off about they're in this asylum, right, and they're doing takes and things like that, and he pays a gardener the gardener's only basically what started the job that day, and then he paid them to say, "Oh, you seen ghosts." But when things started to happen, that's when they shit themselves. I would
Yeah.
love to be that person that does that to people that make up all this activity. I would really want to give them, "Oh, you want activity? Here it is."
Oh, we moved the door. It's evil.
Easy.
Yeah. Bry's coming back and tickle your bits and pinch Dan's butt.
No,
Give it a good pinching so you mark him.
That's it. Oh, poor man, he's not even here to defend himself tonight, and we're giving him a roasting.
Yeah, well, he deserves it. No,
That's what
he don't
happens
really.
when you take time off.
Yeah. He's been out enjoying himself today. I think he's he got caught up in traffic, and the traffic is quite heavy today.
Especially if
where
he's
we
been
are.
to see Harry Potter, there'll be quite a few people going to
Yeah.
see that.
Because when I was coming back from work, and I spoke to you earlier, and I was driving back down the back roads, down the country fen roads. It was chock-a-block, and it was busy, and I don't understand why, because I don't think everyone's gone back to work today. But it is what it is.
It is. Right, Thursday, guys, crime show. I'll maybe need to do a rain check because I've got a few things to adjust on the show before we start again. But Friday, definitely, guys. Frighteners is back. What? Friday Night Madness. In fact, I'll use your last subject with the Jerry the Doom as
Brood
the
ghosts.
next show. Was that the last one?
Oh, my last one. Do you want the last one? Oh, there's one.
I might as well go for the last one.
There's 3 in there.
Oh, there's 3? Oh, well, I'll let you pick, young lady. You pick tonight what Friday night will bring. Friday night's going to bring famous person hauntings. Oh, that'll be a very interesting one. There's one that's just came to my head that I can think about, and that's the guy, was it James Dean, whose car crashed?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That'll be worth talking about. Dirty little bastard. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Oh, Christine, she's come up with a classic.
I'd like to be
I'd like to. You know, we call that a wet willy. That's a wet willy, that is, Christine.
It's like Cherry Poo Willies, but it's wet. We broke up.
That's nice, Gary.
That's good. It's okay, we've found something. Thank you for tonight and your kindness. Oh, thanks very much, Sarah. We make it well worth it. Well, I'm trying to do a heart, but I've got a kitten.
That's my heart.
Attached to my bum. Right, wait a minute. Wee kitty, you put your hand up for Sarah. Your wee paw.
Oh.
She's like, Mum, what are you doing?
She's cute.
Little bastard.
So on Wednesday, this Wednesday, tomorrow night on Simply Spooky, our guest is to be announced because the guest we were having on had to go to Los Angeles. So he has been scheduled for next Wednesday. So Bri and Eric, if you are interested, next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but the following week, we have Ross Allison coming to talk about the naked experiment where he can prove touch. So that would be a very, very interesting show. So if you can tune in for that one, please tune in. Dan will be back tomorrow, and I'm hoping and praying that Mr. Mould says yes and comes on the show tomorrow. We've been trying to get him on, so I'm going to nab him.
Fingers crossed, I'll have everything.
I'm gonna nab him.
I'll be on night shift, guys, so I'll not be here. I'm more than
interested. Yeah, no, the experiments that he's been doing. that he's been doing has been 6 years in the making, and he collaborated with a scientist, and they can now prove touch. So when spirit are touching you, they can actually prove it. If you've seen the documentary, it's out there on Amazon. It's called Para Sense, The Naked Experiment. I can't recommend that to serious paranormal investigators. Please, please, please have a look at it. You can watch. I think you can watch a little trailer. You don't have to buy it. You can watch the trailer, but I would recommend that you buy it, because this opens up a whole nother level. It's blown the paranormal field. It's taken it, shaken it, and turned it upside down on its head. So yeah, these people that are saying a ghost has just touched me, they can actually now prove it. So be careful what you say, because you could be proved wrong. If you're one of these guys that, you know, has to be talking all the time and something happening to you because that's the way you are, be careful, because now there is equipment out there that can prove whether you've been touched or not. And it is credible.
I think, guys, we should volunteer Dan to drop his pants and show his arse and see if there has been really somebody grabbing his ass.
Do you know what? He has been asked, Ross has asked us, would we appear on his documentary, because he's doing a follow-up for it, and he's asked us, would we appear on camera naked? I told him where to go straight away, and I think Dan did too. So... oh dear.
Good part of it.
Do you know,
hey Jason,
Jason, it's all done in really good taste. There's nothing seedy, it's not pornographic, it's nothing like that, and you don't see anything. But I swear, I'm just not got the figure for it. Seriously.
Listen, have you ever watched that Naked Attraction?
Eric and Dan put them in Mackenzie's mausoleum, where the ghost actually punches them in the face and knocks them to the ground.
Oh,
would be interesting. That would be interesting. How are you doing, Jason? Happy New Year to you, by the way.
Happy New Year, Jason.
I just love that dog. Oh, I just love that dog. But yeah, so next week's going to be interesting. And you've got the crime shows every Thursdays, haven't you?
Yep. Probably starting thinking about it, because we've not actually grouped back yet to speak about changes. It'll probably be the week after, guys, but definitely it will be coming back just under a different name and a different logo. But if I can get my team together, then we'll sit down and go through it. It's going to go through Simply Spooky, through Things Network as well, guys. So you've got 2 ways of seeing it.
Excellent. So yes, and if anyone would like a show on the Simply Spooky Network, get in touch with myself or Lois. We are at taking people on. Just message us if there is a slot available. We'll get you in there. So yeah.
And you don't even need to be experienced, or you don't need to worry about anything, because look at Bride, prime example. Bride never ever did the live, came on one night and I kidnapped him for Frighteners, and now he's on every Friday.
He's never looked back since, has he? But you know what? It doesn't even have to be about paranormal. You can talk about cookery, sewing, knitting, gaming. We don't care. If it's interesting and you're having fun, why not? That's what I say. The more the merrier. I am thinking about doing a half an hour slot every day. Maybe, we'll see. Just to get a little ghost story out there. And they're all written by me. But we'll see. I think the publishing has to happen first. So
yeah. That would be a good one. I mean, there's different wood. That's it. See the man's spirit. But I definitely, guys. I mean, it could be about anything. I mean, look at Things Network. They've went through readings, paranormal. They're actually now doing, if you guys are not aware and you are into wrestling, I know that there's a show coming on. I don't know if it's started, but it's to do with wrestling. So really check that one out, guys. So it shows
Yeah.
you can do any subject, and I think it's actually quite good, to be fair, and I support it 1000%, because I think if you're watching the same people talk about paranormal and the same things all the time, constant, it's going to get boring. So
Yeah.
having these other subjects, it's a cracking thing.
It's like Gary. You could come on and you could talk about your, is it camper vanning if you wanted to. It's just
Or
to
your
be talking about
vibrating drawers.
it. Oh yeah, just to be
We could all guess what's in your drawer. Like Monday, what do you have in? You know, things like that.
yeah. So it's totally up to you. We're easy, but we're not loose, are we, Lois?
Yep. As long
Dan,
as you're down to earth and
Dan on the other side, on the other hand, he's not easy and he is loose,
very loose.
very loose.
So they told me. I don't know, guys. The opinions vary.
Isn't that cat just the cutest? Look at that cat.
I know. It's definitely a mammy's lassie. We're not talking about Liverpool. They're shite, Gary. He'll kick me right in the shins the next time he sees me.
Well, whatever tickles your fancy, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yep, that's it.
It's whatever tickles your fancy, as they say.
Was yesterday. I have many subjects. Well,
I bet
Guy,
you do.
if you want your very own show,
Let us know.
definitely.
Yeah.
But we don't bite, guys. We're easy all
No.
day.
Right. Are we going to call it a day? We've been on, nearly an hour and a half now.
Yeah, that's fine. And I shall see you on Friday, because I won't be around tomorrow because I'm night shift.
Oh, Eric.
Or whatever. I'm saying nothing. She is. She's definitely. I can put her down and she'll chase me about this house, and then when I come back, she's always straight up.
Yeah, listening to your heartbeat, isn't she?
Yep.
Good night, Sarah.
Lovely.
And you know where we are if you need us.
Definitely.
And with that, I'm going to say to everybody, whatever you're doing this week, stay safe and warm, be well, and just look after yourself and each other. Just be nice to everyone. If you can't say anything nice, don't bother saying anything at all. I think that's the safest bet, isn't it?
Yep. And I just totally echo her words.
Take care, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
We'll see you soon. Take it easy.
Bye.